Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, it's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and the elders of all of Israel, really constructed or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwat who are listening and learning, if you sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from Jim Messalano Camp, coming into the lesson of truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord, will this be edifying. So I titled this lesson, BRICS Nations is the Lord's Dream Team. And it's kind of like a lamb back of the lesson I did yesterday, which goes into the lesson that I did last week. And first off, I want to make the point of the lesson that I did yesterday, like the first 6 minutes was like cut out because I didn't click on this icon to show up the camera, so to make the mics play. So anyway, but in the beginning of that video, it was I was just going over what I had did a couple days ago in the lessons about the BRIC nations. So I didn't bring out no precepts or nothing. I was just going over them BRIC nations, which I want to show real quick. So the first 6 minutes of that video was kind of like like I think it got at the point of 5:45 mark. That's when it came in. So what I was doing was showing this. For some reason, these devils been messing with my computer, man. Right, they got it freezing. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so I was showing this here. The new BRICS alliance is a mortal threat to the West, right? And it say, so this was I was reading the first 6 minutes of the video I did yesterday, which is a lamb back from the video that I did last week. It say this week, which was last week, this week it was announced that Iran and Argentina have applied to join the BRICS. The BRICS, which until recently has been made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is a forum that allows countries outside of Western developed economies to forge alliance on economic issues. As it gets larger, its influence and economic importance grows. It said last week at one of the BRICS forums, President Putin announced that Russia, alongside China and other BRICS nations, was getting ready to launch a new global reserve currency made up of baskets of BRICS currencies. If successful, such a reserve currency would be a direct threat to the currently dominant US dollar, right? So let me come back, get this other clip. And I was also showing the other clip. I was showing that you got Iran, China, and Russia doing military drills. So let me show that real quick. I just want to lay back. I just want to kind of, because the first 6 minutes of that video from yesterday, it was silent. So it say Iran, Russia, China hold joint naval drills amid growing ties, right? So let me get this next one, because there's a new article just popped up today, which was the Spirit of the Lord before I started this lesson. So I also showed this. Cause this what happened. This what I put in the chat Sunday, and that's what I did a lesson on yesterday. It say as NATO grows, China and Russia seek to bring Iran, Saudi Arabia into fold. Now, as the scriptures say, Russia and Iran today will be the Medo and Persian Empire, which took down the ancient Babylonian Empire, which, as the scriptures say, Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, there is nothing new under the sun, right? There's nothing new under the sun, man. And the Lord don't change. It'll tell you in Malachi 3 and 6. So China and Russia, Russia and Iran is the same Medo and Persian Empire. Okay? But today you're gonna have China join. And as I said yesterday, Saudi Arabia, we all know Saudi Arabia is a major cash cow for North America, Babylon the Great, man. So let me get these other articles. I got two more here. And I only got a couple precepts because this is just like a lamb back from the lesson I did yesterday. It's going into, like I said, when I don't do something right, it kind of bothers me. So, being I couldn't redo the video yesterday because I had to go to the plantation, so it's bothering me all last night at the plantation, man. So I just want to go back over this. So now this is let me show this one. Now this say should lock it. These devils messing with this computer, man. So this one say China is pushing back. This was from today. It say China is pushing back. Salakia. China is pushing back on the U.S. dollar's dominance by analysts. It say, but analysts say there is no real threat to the greenback, and of course they're gonna say that to keep people, to keep you people, you Babylonians over here, not to be in fear, man. So I want to show that, and this is I got one more here. The Lord is stirring up this pot, man, and rightfully so. He's still playing with my computer, man. It's freezing. Now, I wasn't doing this yesterday, but it's okay. I'm gonna deal with it. So I got one more article here. This is right here. Now this is from February. Now I mentioned this yesterday. I did a lesson on this a couple months ago because this was from February. These devils, man. So like you bear with me, they got my computer freezing, man. Boy, I tell you. These devils is a trip, man. So it say, Kala Yabashimau. These devils, man. Hurt. Now I said not responding. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now I wasn't doing this about an hour ago. But it's okay. Lord, what are we gonna get through it? Yeah, man. These devils, man. And I had all this queued up, ready to go, man. So the title say, wow, browser can't access your screen. Try catching a different screen to see. Man. Hold on, let's try this again. These devils, bro. Okay. So it says Boy, look at here. It's all right. I got another lesson I'm finna do, Lord willing. Finna get back on this devil, Mark the Messenger. So right here, man, what is going on, man? Okay, so it say right here, it say China and Saudi Arabia strengthen ties with $10 billion petrochemical plan. Right? It say Saudi Arabia and China have renewed discussions over a refining and petrochemical complex that was shelved in 2020 due to the oil price crash. Right? So like, let me get rid of this pop up. It say this deal is yet another sign of the strengthening alliance between China and Saudi Arabia, a development that will worry the Biden administration. It says, worrying for the U.S., the Chinese company that will be involved in this deal with Saudi Arabia is also one of China's major defense contractors. It says plans for a joint Saudi Arabia-China refining and petrochemical complex to be built in northeast China that were shelved in 2020 are now being discussed again, according to sources close to the deal. The original deal for Saudi, let's say Aramco, and China's North Industrial Group, Norinco, and it's a Pangean Sinsian group to build a US 10,300,000 barrels per day. It's a integrated refining and petrochemical facility in Pangean City was signed in February 2019. However, in the aftermath of the enduring low prices and economic damage that hit Saudi Arabia as a result of the second oil price war, it instigated in the first half of 2020 against the U.S. It's a shale oil threat. Aramco pulled out the deal in August of that year. So if Saudi Arabia and China is doing billion-dollar deals, man, where do they leave North America, Babylon the Great? They leave them uh allianceless, man. Allianceless, because Saudi Arabia is North America's number one ally, man, and cash cow. And everybody know that, man. So I had a couple precepts. Yeah, con. I say 1,000 lashes for the IT guy. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, he gonna get his in the kingdom, Lord willing. Con. It's all good though. So I just had a couple precepts I want to land back out the lesson I did yesterday, man. I mean, it is a spirit too that when I start the lesson started at 5:45 minutes and 45 seconds. So I was just talking about those alliances coming together. So the spirit that I was able to I hit the button at the right time when the brother had said, and we got next Max Salaki. I was talking kind of strong yesterday when I was like, what you mean the volume one, whatever, because I kind of get a little, you know, on that on that heavy Debo spirit. So Salaki for that. I ain't mean nothing by it. It was just, I was trying to figure out what he mean when he said the volume went on. But anyway, so I'm gonna get these precepts. No, when I go in on Martin Messenger, the computer gonna work pretty good, I'm sure. This is in Daniel's 2, right? It talks about these nations. It talking about the fourth kingdom being partly strong and partly broken, partly weak. So this is Daniel 2 and 40. It reads, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And it tell you when Romans 16 and 20, that this is what Yahweh shall gonna do to these devils. It say Romans 16 and 20, and the power of peace and the God of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. The grace of our Lord Yahweh shall Mashiach be with you. Right? So back in Daniel 2 and 40, it say, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, which is the Roman Empire. It say, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. So these 10 toes is the EU and NATO. EU, NATO, and Babylon the Great, right? It say, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And we know about the BRICS deal that happened a little while ago. This guy said, you calling him out and have the call in private. What is this guy? I'm finna get on this nigga, man. Lord, when as soon as I finish this lesson, I'm finna get on this nigga Blue Gunner, whoever this demon nigga is, defending Mark the Messenger. I'm finna get on you niggas again, man. Anyway, Salakia. It say Daniel 2 and 42, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Now that breaks the deal, right? With Boris Johnson. And it's crazy because today I just had got an article that said this guy, I had to write it down. This guy, his last name, it was two guys, Sanak and Javid. It's a quit UK government in a major blow to Boris Johnson. That was an article that happened today. These guys just left. Why? Because they ain't on the same page, man. And since the Greek Empire, these devils have never been on one accord, man. They've been fighting amongst themselves since the Greeks, man. And look what happened in the Roman Empire with what's this guy, Julius Caesar? How did his own Senate? What they do? Stab him in the back, man. And everybody took a turn. The the American Revolution Wars, man. Okay, with the French, Spanish, and the British, man. These devils have never been on one accord. And I can go through the precepts. Mark 3, right? 23 through 25. Luke 11 and 17. Isaiah 19, right? Verse 2 and 3. We know what time it is, man. This is Daniel 2 and 43. This kingdom is not together, man. And they playing the part like they is, but they're not, man. And this is going into more detail. It say, verse 43, and whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. So who is this that is talking about? Again, it say, Daniel 2 and 43, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another. So you got the sons of Yahweh, the sons of God, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of men, right? So these sons of the wicked is cleaving. I mean, they mingle themselves with the sons of men, but they are not cleaving one to another, man. That's the separation. Again, it's Daniel 2 and 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. So you see the separation of these nations, man. There is a great separation, and the Wadi Habashima Bashar that we get to see it play out, man. So these devils been pushing that they don't want to accord with the whole Democrats and Republicans. They ain't on one accord, man. The prophecies say that the 10 horns on the beast shall hate the whore, man. Right? Obadiah 1 and 7. I went through these precepts yesterday, man. This is Revelation. And this is prophecy, man. Revelations 13. I'm gonna read 1. It reads, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now this beast It's these Job down to 24 nations, man. It say and have 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, which is what? The beginning rulership of the so-called white man. And his feet was as the feet of a bear, which is what? The end rulership of the so-called white man. It say in his mouth as a mouth of a lion, which is North America, Babylon the Great. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, right? Because North America is the revised Roman Empire, man, right? So it said, and I saw the beast, which was like unto a leopard, which is the beginning rulership, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. Who is the bear? It's the Roman Empire. I mean, it's these so-called Russians, man. Okay, Magog, man. So that end time prophecy in Second Ezra 11:39, when they say, "Not that it that remaineth of the fourth beast." Let's read that. This is Second Ezra 11:39. It reads, "Not that it that remaineth of the fourth beast, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times may come through them." You see, who is remaining of the fourth beast? Right? You had the Romans, then Great Britain, and North America, Babylon the Great came out of Great Britain, man. Right? When they tell you the 5 are fallen, one is, and one is yet to come, and he must continue a short space, right? Then the 8th is of the 7th, right? And goeth into perdition. Well, Babylon the Great came out of Great Britain, right? It tell you in what is that? Jeremiah 50. This is Jeremiah 50. In verse 12, it reads, "Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert." Who is the mother? It's talking about Great Britain, man. And we saw this whole Brexit thing, man, with EU separate from Babylon the Great, but they still join, man. Why? Because the Lord said in Revelations 17 and 16, it reads, "And the 10 horns thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For power have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of power shall be fulfilled." Meaning what? Until the elect be sealed, man. Once the elect gets sealed, then all hell gonna break loose, man. But right now, we saw the Lord move that chess piece when EU and with the whole Brexit deal, right? Separate from Babylon the Great, but they still join. We just saw the G7. Boris Johnson was sitting right there with Putin, man. I mean, right there with Biden, man. Okay, so they still mingling, even though they Edomites too, right? They still mingling. But the Lord got a dream team, man, and it's the BRIC nations, man. And as prophecy say, Iran is going to join the Medes, man, right? The Medes and the Persians, man. They got to play that same part when they took down the ancient Babylonian Empire, man. That's prophecy. So that leopard was the head, and that bear is the tail. Now I want to get this in Job 24. It reads, this is Job 24 and 23. It reads, "Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways." So the Lord gave these devils that dominion where it seems like they get the rest. It say, though it be giving him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. Because the angels, like it said, I read yesterday, man. You got Isaiah 13 and 3, right? You got the one in Joel 3. Still to cause thy mighty ones to come down. It say, verse 24, "They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low." What it mean to be brought low? In Genesis 3, it said what? "On thy belly shall thou go," right? Thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. That means to be brought low. Daniel 4:17, the basis of men. It said they are exalted for a little while. See, their kingdom in the lesson I did, these devils clipped the video, man. I did a while ago how this devil dominion was temporary, but Jacob's is everlasting. They took the video down off this channel. I put it on one of my backup channels. They ain't even touch it, man. So it say they are exalted for a little while because their kingdom was temporary, man. It wasn't a everlasting kingdom. It tell you in 269 that Esau is the end of the world, right? His kingdom was temporary, man. For they are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low back to the basis of men. They are taken out of the way as all other. The Lord said they will be taken out of the way like all other kingdoms, right? And cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. Verse 25. And if it be not so, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? This is what the Lord is saying. If I don't destroy them like I destroyed the other kingdoms, who's going to make me a liar? Just read it again. Job 24:23. Though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. You see, the basis of men. It tell you in Ecclesiastes 33, right? Matter of fact, let's get a couple real quick. I ain't want to make this too long. I want to hit this point. Let's get this. Ecclesiastes 33, starting at 10. It reads, talking to these Edomites, man. It say, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them have he cursed and brought low, you see, and turned out of their places. Now, let's prove the point about the Lord say they was going to be the basis of men. Genesis 3:15, Genesis 3:14. And Yahweh power said unto the serpent, which is a seed line of people, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, the Edomites, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. That's why I tell you in Ecclesiastes 3, they are brute beasts. Okay, Solomon said they are what? They are beasts, man. They are nothing but beasts. The sons of the wicked and the sons of men are beasts. It say, and Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. And we can get Proverbs 3:33, right? Isaiah 34:5. He cursed them, man. It say, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field, meaning the people. Out of all the nations, 18 nations, you are the cursed. It say, upon thy belly shall thou go. What does that mean? That means you're going to be the basis. That's at a low point, man. That's the lowest you can get to be on your belly, man. It said, upon thy belly shall thou go, and thus shall thou eat all the days of thy life. What does that mean? Confusion. Everywhere these devils go, they bring confusion, man. Okay? That's why I tell you, Cain dwelt in the land of Nod, meaning to wonder, man. Wandering around building cities. That's what these devils do. And bring confusion, man. So, in Proverbs 3, let me get this one. Proverbs 3, dealing with that curse, right? Proverbs 3:33, it reads, which links to Malachi 1:4. The curse of Yahweh is in the house of the wicked, but he blessed the habitation of the just, right? So they are cursed and base, man. Let's get this in Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34:5 reads, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. You see? So back in Job 24, the Lord say, I'm going to hit the point. Job 24:24. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. Back to the base of men. Daniel 4:17. Job 30:7. It say they are taken out of the way as all other rulerships, all other kingdoms, the Greeks, the Romans, Babylon the Great, North America, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. This is the point I want to make. This is the Lord speaking. And if it be not so, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? So I got two precepts to back that up. Lord said, who will make his speech nothing worth? Right? In Psalms 33 and 10, it reads this. Psalm 33 and 11, it reads, matter of fact, let's read 10. Psalm 33 and 10 reads, the Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. Because he's against Magog too. He's against the Russians too. He's just going to use them to destroy Babylon the Great. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of Yahweh standeth forever. The thoughts of his heart to all generations. Right? So this is Isaiah 55 and 11. The Lord said, who will make his speech nothing worth? Nobody. Not one. Or was that Proverbs 21 and 1 said the king's hearts is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So this is Isaiah 55 and 11. It reads, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the Lord said he's going to make these devils counsel of none effect. This is Job 5. This is Job chapter 5 in verse 12. It reads, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Now, the Lord is using his dream team, right? These BRIC nations. That's the Lord's dream team, man. That's who got the best missiles. The Lord is using his dream team, man. Now, right here in Isaiah, I'm going to read a couple of these. Isaiah 29 and 14, it reads, therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among his people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of the prudent men shall be hid. Right? Let's get a precept to that. Precept upon precept upon precept. Let's link them together. Jeremiah 49. Now remember what it said in Isaiah 29 and 14. He's going to bring the wisdom of the wise men to naught, man. This is Jeremiah 49 and 7. It reads, concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Right? Let's get one more to link with that one. 1 Corinthians 1 and 19. This is what the Lord doing. He's destroying their wisdom, man, which they never had in the first place. This is 1 Corinthians 1 and 19. It reads, for it is written, which I read, this is a precept to Isaiah 29 and 14. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. It said, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? You see? So these devils don't understand what's going on, man. In Obadiah 1, this devil said this. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high. Thus saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right? It said, who shall bring me down to the ground? Well, the Lord said in Malachi, let's get this. So these devils thinking They ain't going down, man. But that's the Lord. Hey, in the same way, the Lord he deceived Pharaoh, man. He doing the same thing with these devils, man. And so this is Malachi 1. Because what did Esau say in Obadiah 1 and 3? Who shall bring me down to the ground, right? So in Malachi 1, in verse 4, it said, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the board of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. And I got two more precepts I want to read. I'm gonna close out. So in Ezekiel 28, it reads this. It's Ezekiel 28, and I'm gonna start at verse let's start at 2. It says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, which is Esau Edom today, thus saith Yahweh Shema shall power, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, in the midst of the people, right? What is called a great melting pot. Yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thy heart as the heart of God. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom, you see, the Lord said he's going to destroy their wisdom. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, you see, it said in Isaiah 29 and 14, and the precept in 1 Corinthians 1 and 19, he's going to destroy their understanding and their wisdom. It say, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding, that has gotten thee riches and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Right? James 5 and 1. They are heaped with treasures together for the last days. It said, what? Their garments are moth eaten, right? Their riches are corrupted. It say, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic has thy increased thy riches. And they got a lot of trafficking, guns, humans, drugs, etc. Man. By great wisdom, they technology, right? They the tech that the Lord gave them to create those missiles, these fighter jets, the stealth bombers, that TR-3B, which is like a Dorito. They kind of like they made it with some super aerodynamic that it can turn on a dime. Something like they tried to design it like off a chariot. It's called a TR-3B. Go look it up. It say I did lessons on it maybe a year or two ago. It said, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic has thy increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. You can't tell them devils nothing, man. But they got generational wealth from blood, sweat, and tears off the backs of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. Wall Street was built off the blood and sweat and tears off the backs of so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Shema Shah, power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God, is the point I want to make. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee. Who are these strangers? The BRICS nations. Behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee. It said the terrible of the nations. Those was BRICS. That's the Lord's dream team, man. I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, which the Lord is showing us. These devils over here don't got no wisdom. And they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Remember in Isaiah 14, it said, thy prompt is brought down, right? It say, all these wicked, these nations going to come upon thee. What's that? Job, what is that? Job 22. All the hands of the wicked shall be upon these devils, man. Then also in Isaiah 14, it said, lift up, it raised up the kings from the nations, man. It say, they shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them. They are slain in the midst of the seas. It said, would thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God, but thou shalt be a man, and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. And the point I want to make is who is going to slay these devils? Let's read it. It say, thou shalt die the deaths of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, said Yahweh Shema Shah power. Now the other precept I had is Isaiah, because it said, he that slayeth thee, right? This is Isaiah 19 and verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. You see that wisdom, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them they have familiar spirits, and to wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. And that fierce king, that cruel Lord, is whoever going to be over Russia at this time, man. Right now, we gonna say it's Putin, man. Whoever going to be over Russia, man. The Lord got his dream team prepared to destroy these devils, man. Them brick nations, man. Because Saudi Arabia, and we know the prophets say all these nations is going to leave Babylon the Great. It might not look like it right now, but the Lord is showing these prophecies, man. And the only ones that's excited about these things is the hopeful elect. I'm going to close with that precept. This is Isaiah chapter 9 and 2. Listen to how it's worded. The people that walked in darkness, which right here in Babylon the Great, have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shine, which is the truth. Verse 3, it say, thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. We ain't joying. We ain't joying, man. We join. It say, they joy before thee according to the joy in harvest. Meaning what? Brothers and sisters are waking up to the truth, man. So we're rejoicing because the fold is getting greater, man. And as I read in Revelation 17 and 17, the Lord say, he put it in the hearts of these kings of these nations until the words of the Lord be fulfilled, man. That's why I tell you in Revelation 7 that the angels are holding back the four winds until the elect get sealed. Once the elect get sealed, it's all go time, man. So right here say, Isaiah 9 and 3, thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. Because it tell you in what is that? Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, surely oppression make a wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. Ecclesiastes 1:18 say the more you increase in wisdom, right? The more we increase in sorrow, because we ready to get out of here. So thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. It say they joy before thee. Who? It said the one that the light shine to. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest. That's why Yahweh said what? Was that Matthew 9? Let's get that and come back. Gotta read this link with that. This is Matthew 9 and 37. Yahweh said, yeah, Matthew 9 and 37. Thus said he unto his disciples, the harvest is truly plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. So the hopeful elect is rejoicing because we see the tokens playing out, which is the prophecies, and we see brothers and sisters waking up to the truth, man. So this is why the hopeful elect is rejoicing. Again, it say, Isaiah 9 and 2, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shine. We see what's going on in the world, right? The Lord gave you that eyes off. Revelation 3 and 18. It say, thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest. The prophets is playing out. Brothers and sisters waking up to the truth. And as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. You see, we rejoicing because the Lord is moving these prophecies, man. And as it said, I got to get this, Salakia, Isaiah 43 and 8, it reads, bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears, man. We see what's unfolding. But 2/3 of Jake is enjoying life, man. We see the inflation is finna get worse, man. Food finna get bad, man. The Lord say he's in Isaiah 3 and 1. He say he's finna break the stake and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. Let's read that. For behold, Isaiah 3 and 1, the Lord of hosts, doeth take away from Jerusalem, from you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, you West Indian Haitians, because in Haggai 1, it tell you how, from Haggai chapter 1, verse 2 down to 9, tell you how Jake rejoicing and they don't want to build a house of the Lord. They run every man to his own house, right? They don't want to be partakers of the Lord's house. So they living in mirth. The Lord say, it say, he doeth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. You see, that's what's going on, man. Jake rejoicing in wickedness, man. You got niggas teaching you prosperity doctrines, man. When the dollar's going to keep inflating until it crashes and they bring in this new currency, which is the MOTB, man. They're going to keep doing it. Over 100 food processing plants shut down because they created this famine. And it's the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, that got these devils creating it, man. So things are going to get worse. You think because right now everything is just calm and nice? No, man, it's going to get worse, man. So, Lord Williams edifying. Hey, bless our eyes for we see, man. So stay prayed up, man. Stay prayed up because prayer is key, man. It's going to get rough. And the Lord say he's going to visit them that hate him to their face, man. And we see what's going on. It's been a lot of MDK going on, man. Like it was the movie Demolition Man. MDK. Murder, death, kill everywhere, man. Everywhere. Because everybody living in mirth, man. Nobody, and these guys ain't preparing you for the battle, man. There's a battle coming. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble, man. So, gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rikah, Kodash, double honors for the apostles and elders of great millstone who are well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, really accepted or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect, and shalom to the Aqua who are listening and learning. Hey, the water for tuning in, the water for tuning in. Hey, you know, the water for you, for your brother didn't put no precepts up, but the water, the brother put up Proverbs 21:1, which I quoted. GMS saying to the Most High put up Revelation 17:11, which I read. So the water, man, the water for tuning in. Hey, call out Yahweh Shema Shah. Hey, Shalom, we got next Max. Salakia, brother. I ain't mean to sound so harsh yesterday about the volume. So Salakia for that, brother. But yeah. So until next time, I say Shalom. Wah abba. The water for tuning in. Hey, stay prayed up, man. Stay vigilant, man. Stay watching. You know what? Let me close with this. Let me close with this. This is Colossians. Let's get this. This is Colossians chapter 4. It's Colossians 4 and 5. It reads, walk in wisdom towards them that are without, redeeming the time. Redeeming the time, man. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer every man. Hey, redeeming the times, man. So, hey, Shalom, Wahoo Baba Ball.